Before my stroke, I was 44 years old. I was always in motion. I work for Apple, a project manager. In the world, my job is simple: find the problem and fix it. I was the driver who made sure the team kept moving forward. I was athlete, my heart. I played many sports: soccer, baseball, football, and even curling. I have a mission to shoot a basketball in every state, and I travel from Seattle to DC and to Italy to make it happen. When I was not on the road, I was building community. Together, we organize book club, card games, camping trips. Life is full, no complaints, because I was the one holding the map. One morning, I'm getting ready to work when the whole world shifted. My right hand went weak. My phone was downstairs and I couldn't reach him. I was trapped. I waited for help 5 long hours. My life was meetings, meetings, meetings. When I didn't show up, my coworker, Alberto, knew something is wrong. He drove to my house, saw my car, and kicked the door down and found me. But then the story is wild. My neighbor saw Alberto and thought it was a burglar. She called the police. True story. 4 cop cars arrived, and the rookie officer pointed at Alberto. Thankfully, the senior officer calmed the rookie down and called 911. They rushed me to Good Sam Hospital. That was 18 years ago. That severe stroke left me with aphasia, praxia, and a host of issues. I spent a week in the hospital before moving to Mission Oaks Hospital in rehab. When I first arrived at the hospital, I have only 5 words. Even the yes or no is flipped. I went from a manager who lost her speech to a speaker who managed her own recovery. I was lucky. My college friend Karen was a speech therapist. She is smart cookie about aphasia. She helps me accept my new reality. And she taught my family and friends the most important lessons of all: patience. In the beginning, I felt broken and truly scared. I made a choice, but I took that fear and I turned it into fuel. I chose to own my recovery, and that became my new mission. I am proof of what one researcher called a family-like system. It is a powerful network of family and friends. That becomes your foundation when everything else is in pieces. My first rehab room sat right next to the nurse's station. My village arrived like a tidal wave of laughter and conversation, complete blowing past the quiet zone rules. The staff actually had to put me in all the way down the hall in the room by the break room. So my community had space to be loud together. That taught me something is important. When we show up for us, each other, we don't sit quietly, we change the whole environment. We turn a quiet hospital into a place of life. That support was my fuel. It reminded me that even when my speech was gone, my community remained. Now think about the people in this room. Think about the people in our wider community. Not everyone has a village like I did. That's a reason why are here. We are building that village for everyone. How many of us are here because of the stroke? How many are living with a TBI? And how many are dealing with a brain disease that changes over time? Now look at the care partner, the family, and the friends in the room. They are on the journey too. We are a massive community, a global tribe, but too long we have been separated, drifting apart. It is time to stop drifting and start connecting. The adapted growth culture is the key to unlocking a life of purpose, shifting us from passive patient to back to empower people. The adapted growth culture framework is far more than research on the paper. It is a real world map built from 18 years ago are of our own errors, stubbornness, and victory. By blending our lived expertise with the science of recovery, we have proven there is a better way. This isn't just a theory, it is our lived map out for the world to see. Replacing a painful path of trial and error with the clear lens of the adapted growth culture. I'm Trish. I'm a member of Voice of Hope for Aphasia, the founder of a National Aphasia Synergy, and a pathfinder for the new kind of recovery. In the early days, I felt I was in pieces, but even in pieces, I was determined. My dad stayed by my side for 9 months, helping me put the map back together. He was my partner in the heavy lifting of daily life, handling the SSI, my new will, my power of attorney and working with Alberto to recover my passwords. I remember my dad look at me and say, "You are stubborn." I just said, "Thank you." That choice changed everything. It gave my identity me my identity back. When Karen found the program at the University of Michigan, my dad helped me apply. That program was my turning point. Little by little, I started speaking and reading, kind of. I also learned how to say those 6 powerful words. I have a speech problem called aphasia. I went back to San Jose to keep doing my therapy work, but a year after my stroke, Apple let me go. But life goes on. As the fixer, I didn't sit still. I worked with 22 different speech therapists at 11 different rehab centers. My radiologist saw the spark and called it neuroplasticity. I just called it hard work. When I had to speak about my stroke, I was terrified of the long script and the words. I can't say that. So we changed it, the format. Therapist asked the questions and I answer. I was still scared, but it exactly what I needed to do. Each therapist gave me a new tool for my toolbox, but soon realized therapy was only half the battle. I need community. I started volunteering, visiting new stroke patients to show them that hope exists. I have dived into stroke conference, went to on aphasia cruise, and even make a video about my aphasia yips. I want to at home for us where I live. So I built it. I started the Chit Chat Aphasia group and the Bay Area Aphasia Circle. Instead of searching for a community, I built the one we deserve. I tried to buy a house in the Bay Area, but it was too expensive for a disability. I need a new plan. I met John and Anne on the cruise, and I texted Anne, "I'm moving to St. Petersburg," and text me one word, Dunedin. So with help from my dad and Anne, I moved to Dunedin, Florida. Most importantly, that is the home with Voice of Hope for Aphasia. Moving here didn't just change my zip code, it changed my life. I got a condo, a new license, and new doctors. My Florida radiologist was stunned by my independence. He told me most survivor with my profile live in assisted living. I wasn't looking for facilities. I was looking for a home. I finally found it. When I got my puppy, the Voice of Hope family even helped name her Punk. At first, couldn't say her name. To find the sound, I had a cue. I would say, think of Dirty Harry and say, go ahead, Punk. To train her, I used an app called P2Go. I would tap the picture and the app would say, sit or do your business. Hey, it works. Punk and I was communicate. Today, I am a speaker. I trained therapists, students, and police officers. I have presented at 11 conferences, including ASHA and Aphasia Access. In 25, I stood on the stage in DC. I looked out at the room full of speech therapists. I was proud to show them an insider's perspective on advocacy. I am no longer just a patient. I am researcher. I work on the team creating questions for the community. I serve on the advisor board for a study at Pitt. I am not just managing a condition, but my biggest mission is National Aphasia Synergy. I am the president of a community led by us and for us. We share the good and the bad to stay hopeful. We create the peer befriending program where our allies help others navigate the map of recovery. We entered a national health challenge and we won. We used the prize money to film a video on aphasia and mental health. It featured 4 speech therapists sharing the research, stats, resource, and the power of neuroplasticity. Plus, we surveyed 10 survivors to share the honest truth of our emotional journey and feedback, provide 10 essential tips for recovery, real tools for real people. This is how we thrive. I'll be honest, I'm still scared sometimes, but life is good. No complaint for me. We feel better and stay healthier when we make choices that matter. We stop surviving on our own and we start acting as a village. Looking back, my story isn't just about survivor, it's about the adaptive growth culture, a new modern recovery framework merges science with philosophy across 3 pillars: acceptance, brain science, and mindset. This isn't just about fixing the speech hardware. This is about reclaiming you. You are no longer just a passive patient. You are a lead pathfinder. You are not broken. It's time to stop just getting by and start owning your life. As the absolute boss of me is acceptance. We begin with a powerful ancient Japanese philosophy, Sagada ga ne. It means it is what it is. Now, this is not giving up. This is a smart move. It means you stop fighting a reality you cannot change. The stroke, the past, or that sudden language hiccup. Shakata ga ne does three things at once. First, it conserves your energy by instantly plugging the brain of worry or anger. Second, it creates inner peace because releasing what you cannot change bring safety and calm to your mind. Finally, it forces action by accepting what you cannot control. You free up 100% of your battery power on solutions and strategies. Pillar 2, brain science. Through experience pendant plasticity, your brain can rewiring itself. The rule is simple. Neurons that fire together, wire together. And whatever you focus on, your brain builds. But a daily battle is raging inside your head. Your reaction limbic system wants to hit the panic button, trapping you in the frustration trap, the shame loop, or the heavy circuit of rumination. If you focus on the stress, you accidentally train your brain to get better at being stressed. And that is negative plasticity. To escape this dark side, you must see language hiccups different. They are not personal failures. They are just mechanical stall in the machine. Even during the stall, the rest of your brain still hear you and broadcast your true intent globally. Remember, your mental energy batteries control your speech. When energy thieves like fatigue, noise, stress, and anxiety break in, your batteries leak power, and that is when the hiccups happen. But when you choose a strategy pivot over an emotional meltdown, you execute the Velcro shift. This intentional action connect you straight into your prefrontal cortex, the wise leader in your brain. When you say, I'm feeling frustrated, you reframe frustration as a temporary emotion. You acknowledge the difficulty while leaving room for future wins. You can say, I feel frustrated during difficult moments, or I feel frustrated when things are tough. By taking action on your language, you take the first step towards owning your emotional recovery. It anchors your glimmers of small wins, builds your backup reserve, and powerfully replace a fearful what if with a courageous even if. Pillar 3, mindset. We are shifting from a passive mindset to a leadership mindset, moving from a passive patient to an empower lead pathfinder, grounded in Carol Dweck's research. A growth mindset means knowing your abilities are not fixed, allowing you can stop saying, I can't talk, and start declaring, I can't talk yet. Acknowledging the frustration of the aphasia gives the lead pathfinder the exact permission needed to stop yearning for the old map and start leading recovery through a repeatable 3-step cycle. Accept, pivot, action. First, acceptance seals emotional leak and protect your mental batteries by instantly pausing and breathing through mechanical hiccups. Next, you pivot by trading speed for strategies, intentional, slowing down to engage your thinking brain through visual cues. Finally, you take action by confidently executing your strategies, noticing the small victory to install a win, and physically build new neural pathways. We want the world to get excited about the adapted growth culture. We recently shared our poster at the Aphasia Access virtual conference, and the feedback from members was powerful. The keynote speaker, Dr. Nina Simmons, spoke about from managing a condition to owning the life. That's exactly what we do. We focus on the strengths, the emotion, and the identity that old medical model ignores. Soon am taking the adaptive growth culture to the global stage. I will be presenting our poster at the International Aphasia Rehabilitation Conference in Athens, speaking directly to the top minds in the field. We have built the roadmap, the village. Recovery requires a trained village, acting as a social mirror. As neuroscience confirmed, our brain have a built-in system that copies what we see. A calm support environment provides the exact map our brain needs to build new pathways and fire up our thinking brain. To strengthen this signal, family and friends master 3 pillars. 1, understand aphasia, cultivating deep empathy, knowing the specific diagnosis, and embracing tools like gesture or communication devices. This is how we transform isolation into growth. Within this culture, our village maximize recovery by stepping into few ideas. The care partner, like quarterback and cheerleading, utilize supported conversation for adults framework. The care partner never runs the ball for the pathfinder. Instead, they deliver the perfect pass so the pathfinder can soar. They act as a cheerleader who anchors our hope and a quarterback who replace empty praise like good job with precise feedback like I'm so proud of how to use the gestures to fix that hiccups. The communication spotter operating in like a weight room spotter. Our village stands ready to assist but step in only when the pathfinder gives a predefined signal. Entirely eliminate the fear of interruption and keeping the survivor in the driver's seat. The self-advocating pathfinder. First, let's look at Dr. Zuri explaining Robert Kleck's famous 1980 study on the invisible scar. Roll the tape.
In the 1970s, a psychology professor by the name of Robert Kleck from Dartmouth, he conducted this fascinating experiment where he brought people together, he split them into groups, and with one group, he drew a scar on their face from their right ear to the side of their mouth. Big, ugly scar, and he let them see themselves in a hand mirror. Then he sends the groups out to have conversation with strangers, right? So you have one group that has this scar, another group has no scar. After the conversations, they come back and they report on how they felt the conversation went. The group with the scar overwhelmingly reported that they felt judged. It was tense. The other person was distant because of the scar. But here is where it gets really interesting. If we rewind just a little bit, right before the researchers sent them out into these conversations, he applied moisturizing cream to the scar. So they'd just seen themselves in the mirror. He then applies his cream, but he doesn't tell them that he's removing the scar.
Wow.
So now they have no scar on their face, but they believe that they do.
No.
They go into these conversations believing, expecting they will be treated badly, poorly, judged. And that's what they experience.
Wow.
It's wild. When you think about the implications for us in our lives, okay, it may not be a physical scar, but we all have beliefs or expectations about ourselves based on how we see ourselves, our self-image. And then we're going to notice things that reinforce it because of how the brain is wired. Confirmation bias, selective attention. Your brain is wired to magnify what you focus on. So if you're going into your life, into your conversations, into your meetings, into your work, believing that you're not worthy, that you're not capable, that you don't deserve it, you're going to notice things that reinforce that, and it's only going to make you feel worse.
Right? Incredible stuff. So, owning your story. You are the lead pathfinder, the driver seat. You release the pressure by speaking up first. Be confident. Say it clearly. I have a speech problem called aphasia. I have a speech problem called aphasia. By taking a leap, you step out of the shadows. You stop the judgment and you take control of the conversation by joining support groups, sharing their story, and intentionally practicing real world worst case scenario hiccups rather than just easy victory. They build true resilience for the real world. Discover the Adaptive Growth Culture paper. It will change your life. Finally, we invite the speech therapist to move past deficit focus therapy and use motivation interviewing to become identity reconstructing partners by finding joy, practicing the platinum rules. Clinician help the survivor transition from frustration to total readiness. This collection strategic shift smashes the isolation trap, allowing the lead pathfinder to confidently declare, I am the boss of me. We are owning our lives. We are building this together. Believe in the yet, and the yet will believe in you. Thank you for all so much for listening today. I would love to open it up. Any questions?